Hey snowmobilers, I'm back in my kitchen again. That sounds like an Aerosmith song, doesn't it? Should be an Aerosmith song. Anyway, I'm back in my kitchen because I've got my Mission helmet all tore apart. I just got back from a ride and I had originally wanted to do this video a different way. And things changed. My opinion changed. And I really want to tell you guys what's going on. Let's get into it. All right, so here's the thing. This summer, I decided I was going to buy a photochromic shield for my Mission. Now, a photochromic shield means that it automatically darkens when it gets bright out. And it is actually triggered by the sunlight. So inside the house, the shield is clear. As soon as I step outside with the sun, it darkens. That sounds like a great idea. I actually rode with a guy last spring who had that, and I thought, now that is cool. If it can darken automatically and then clear out when it gets dark out, that is awesome. I need one of those. How much are they? $229. And after a big gulp, I decided that maybe I should get one of those. So I looked around and I managed to get one from Mankato Motorsports in Mankato, Minnesota. All right, so first of all, let's talk about the Mission helmet and what I have here. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the peak. Now I've got the peak off because I really didn't like it. The peak, it seems like when the sun is high enough where the peak would have an effect, you don't really need it. So there's a point where the sun is high enough, you really can't see it anyway. It doesn't really interfere with your vision. You don't need the peak. When the sun gets lower, you need the peak to block out the sun, but it's not there. It doesn't go low enough. So, and I know a lot of guys ride motocross style helmets and with goggles, and somehow they like their peaks. I have not found it to be too useful for me. And so I wanted to get rid of it. So if I'm going to get rid of the peak, I need some kind of sun protection because it gets really bright, as you guys know. So we have, in the helmet comes a sun shield, but the sun shield is a yellow tint, which is great in low light conditions and to see shadow, when you don't have a lot of shadows, to see definition. Works great. Unfortunately, for sunlight, it doesn't work at all. It's useless. So I've got this yellow shield in my helmet. Doesn't work. I got a peak. It doesn't really help. And then I've got a clear shield. And so this is my clear shield. And obviously that doesn't filter out any sunlight. So I decided I was going to get the photochromic shield. Now the photochromic shield does look a little darker. Right now, you can kind of tell this is the photochromic shield. This is the clear shield, and you can kind of see the difference. To me, there might be a little bit of a difference, but because I'm inside, it's not triggered by the sunlight, and therefore you don't really notice it. So true to the advertising, true to the claim, this lightens up, is virtually clear in the dark, but when it's bright out, it's really dark, and it makes it really easy on your eyes. It's great. The problem is this is winter. And so you have low light conditions in the morning, you have low light conditions in the evening, and those two are pretty close together, a lot closer together than you'd think. And when you're on a long ride, you'll cross over that barrier. So you'll go from darkness to really bright back to darkness. And I had that happen 2 days ago. So I was on a ride in Thief River Falls, Minnesota, and we went from morning all the way through the bright sunlight during the day and then darkness again at night. And we actually came back at night. So when that happens with the photochromic shield, if there's any sunlight at all, it will trigger the darkness. It will darken up. And that's what happened to me. So I'm riding back. So we went out east of Thief River Falls, and we're on our way back into Thief River Falls, heading directly into whatever sun is left. And the sun is going down, and it kind of fell off behind some clouds. There's a cloud layer, and it went down behind the clouds, and this thing is still dark. And I realized that the photochromic shield has a serious limitation that way. So if you're in that kind of that transition between light and dark, it's no good. It turns dark and you can't see anything. That said, I'm going to go back to the clear shield, but CKX makes a smoke version of the sun shield for $28. So I don't know what the MSRP, if it's $28, $29, something like that for the MSRP. I paid something like that for one of these. And that's in the mail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch away from the photochromic shield, and I'm going to put back on the clear shield with a smoke sun shield, and then I have the best of both worlds. So there are things about the Mission helmet that, you know, need to be tweaked a little bit, but it still is absolutely, hands down, the best helmet I've ever worn. So I would definitely buy it again. I'm really happy with the helmet overall. Not happy with this, but it's not because it doesn't work properly. It does work. The problem is that it doesn't allow light back in when it starts to get dark out, and you end up basically thinking you're riding at night. When you flip up the shield, it's bright. Everything is bright and it's easy to see. So that to me is a deal breaker, and I'm going to switch back. To me, this is useful information. I was going to make a video about the photochromic shield and talk about how good it is until this last ride, when I realized that there is one aspect to it where it does not work very well, and that is a deal breaker for me. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use the photochromic shield anymore. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to go with the smoke version of the sun shield, and we'll go that route. I could have saved myself $200 here. Live and learn, right? That's why I'm making this video, so that you guys will save $200. Hey, thanks for watching, and I hope I see you on the trail.